Libra, this is your general tarot reading for Libra, Sun, Moon and Descendant or Rising sign for the month of June. A few cards came out there just at the introduction. This is the first card that came out, Libra. What the heck is going on? The card of heartbreak, feeling heart weary and heart worn. Has something happened? Has somebody broke your heart? Tell me who they are and I'll go get them for you. Okay? I don't want to see Libra's heart broken and staying up at night worried and stressed with the 9 of Swords. Okay, Libra. The Magician. So whatever has happened seems to be, it seems to be, even though it doesn't feel like a good thing, it seems like that it triggers a new direction in your life somehow. But we'll keep shuffling the cards and waiting on the right ones to come out just for you, Libra. And in the meantime, while we're getting these cards ready, we'll talk about the energies that are happening for you in June. So, the emphasis here now with the Sun and Mercury in your 9th house of foreign people, foreign travel, higher education, opening and broadening your mind, schools, universities. There's a moment this month where you are really realizing that you have to open things up a bit more in a deeper way. You have to see the big picture. There's a bunch of stuff that you've just suddenly realized, Libra, that you don't know. And maybe it's for your career, maybe it's just in life in general. And you're saying, oh no, I need to educate myself about this so I know how to move on better in my life. Particularly with the first few cards that came out there, it could be some love situation that's keeping you under a constant feeling of stress. And so you want to really learn how to get out of this. And you want to maybe escape it somehow. Escape it through maybe moving away to another country, perhaps even. Or moving somewhere that's way outside your comfort zone to get far, far away from some heartbreak that's been happening or some stress. Now, some of the stress could be coming from the moon in Sagittarius, the full moon in your 3rd house. And that is feeling that there's too much activity in your life. Your mind is just full to the brim. Too much information. And there have been times where you have depended on keeping yourself busy, possibly to ignore some of the problems that appear to have been going on in your love life. But you can't hide behind that anymore. You have to step out of, other people's opinions too, hiding behind other people's opinions somehow, or depending too much upon friends' opinions, or maybe, if you have a love problem, you might find that you ask your friends' advice or go onto some pop culture website on the internet or YouTube and see if you can figure it all out just in a 10-minute video or in a short paragraph of some magazine article. You're going to have to come away from that and get deep and serious about these issues and educate yourself about them in a bigger way. Some of you certainly, I know this is usually the month in June for people to end periods of study, but you at this point are saying, I need to think this month about how to expand my mind more. So you might be definitely thinking this month about putting a few pennies or coins away to invest in your education somehow. Some cards fell on the floor there, Libra. I have to get them. 1 second. They were on the floor and they wouldn't come up off the floor. So this card came out. This is interesting. It's the 4th card that came out, and in the Gemini reading it was also the 4th card that came out, and it's sitting right beside a Gemini card. Are some of you having problems with a Mercurial person, a Gemini or a Virgo indeed, but somebody who's quite Mercurial, who has the gift of the gab, who talks and talks, and they stimulate your mind, but there's a darker side to them. And it seems that in June, or maybe towards the end of May, or mid-May, you've already felt the sting of that dark side and you're resting. Here's the Four of Swords. Another Gemini card coming out there. Gemini, certainly Mercury, mercurial character, somebody who comes and goes, somebody who's able to talk the talk but not necessarily able to walk the walk. What energies have we got going on there as well? Yeah, here's a card of either two things. It can be a card of seeing greater visions for your future, which will happen, and I will talk about that, but it can also be the card of illusion. And I think that's the key here. Some of you have felt that somebody was feeding you a false narrative, that they were keeping you in a kind of a relationship that was a bit smoke and mirrors, that up front they seemed like the real deal, but just scratched the surface a bit, and they weren't. Yet here, the next card is the marriage card. So there is some confusion, Libra. You thought this relationship was going to end in marriage, and yet it's stressing you and keeping you up at night. And you feel that you've only recently saw a dark side or darker side to this person. And you're going, oh my God, it's the June new moon. Now, a lot of signs are getting this card. It's the marriage and wedding card, because traditionally in the Northern Hemisphere, on the new moon in June, on the 13th, people get married. And if that's you, if there's something about a big declaration of love or a wedding, some of you either might be having second doubts, or some of you may even be believing that a marriage would solve everything. If only they just proposed to me, then it would fix all our problems. If only they would commit to me, then it would fix all our problems. But of course we know, even in the pop culture magazines that I said you were reading there, or the weird stuff on YouTube, even those little articles and things, they'll even tell you that a wedding or a marriage or a union won't fix problems that are already existing there. These are things that you need to talk through, and we're in Gemini season, which is all about talking and communicating. So, and of course the moon in the third house, high emotions being communicated. The Fool there, yeah, these high emotions and doubts and fears and worries that you're having need to be shared and spoken about with your partner, even if it's a business partner, a work partner, or somebody that you're very close to that are giving you this stress and worry. You have to talk to them, because you don't want to be made a fool anymore. You don't want to be giving your energy to them and getting nothing back and feeling like a fool. The Six of Wands came out there, waiting on two more cards. So Libra, another big thing that's happening, Neptune going retrograde there in the 6th house. We've mercurial energies here. We have Gemini and we have Virgo. For some of you, it could be Virgo that has been giving you a bit of smoke and mirrors, not telling you the whole truth for some reason or another. And there might be a moment where some of you are seeing that you are giving an awful lot of time, energy, effort, your full heart and devotion, your full adoration and service to someone or something that doesn't deserve it. In fact, Sagittarius got a similar energy there for you. And then the big one, Mars is going retrograde in your 5th house. And 5th house is to do with things of the heart, fun, joy, pleasure, standing out and shining. And this is what you want to do, Libra. You want to be able to stand out and shine. That's your big dream for the future. In some cases, some of you want to achieve a form of celebrity status, I'll say. You want to be very well known in some field or some career, and you want to stand out as the most eligible or the most knowledgeable person for this task. And I think you'll do all right. But know that Mars is pulling energy away from that dream for the moment. So don't panic and don't get all insecure when you say, oh my God, I came so close to being a figure of fame or a key figure or somebody in a position of admiration, let's say, and it's so far away. It means two other things too. Some of you might feel that you were so close to having a real soulmate relationship with somebody, and I think this is what it really is. And it's like in June, it just feels like that dream is slipping away. Don't panic. There is a suggestion here that all is not yet lost. Whatever about the future, at the moment, despite their strange and dark behaviour, all may not yet be lost. It may be salvageable. It can be fixed if you do it right. For those of you who have children, there is a moment where you'll be retreating a little bit from the high intense energy of the world to maybe give them a little bit of more time, energy and effort. They might need a little bit of more effort. Coming up to the summer school holidays perhaps. They need more attention because they won't have school or something like that. You'll need to give them a little bit of focus, and it might feel like hard work, that you're not up for it. You're not able to give them the time, energy and focus that they now need. So they're the big energies. Just waiting on 2 more cards. We know that Uranus there last month hit into Taurus, and that was your 8th house. That's right. Those big changes that happened for you when you really took control again of your power, and you were given a situation where you were once a slave to somebody or something, that you had to fight them and master your own destiny, or take control of a situation. Become the one in control, become the one with the power. A few cards came out there, I'll take the top 2. The 5 of Pentacles, and the last card is the Page of Pentacles. All in all, it's nice because the end of the month promises that even though you might fear money being lost, it will come back, and there's better things at the end of the month concerning your finances. So Libra, what I'll do here now is I'll show you, ding, the big overview of the cards so you can follow the pattern of the cards as I'm reading them. And so let's begin with this very strange and tricky card. June is opening up with you feeling heart weary, tired in your heart. You've had enough. Too many things have come in the way of you and your happy ending. And it could have been another person, or it could have been just bad behavior or a situation. And it's almost like it's enough. I've been through this before. I don't want to have my heart broken like this again. There's always, excuse me, there's always something in the way of just things floating nicely along. Why can't it be easy? I think we said this last month, didn't we, Libra? You're saying again in June, why can't things just run smoothly? It is possible, but somebody, something, the universe, or something always puts a big wedge in it. Your plans, your projects, your schemes may also have had a period where something was roadblocked, something was, a big wedge went right into the middle of it. And you're now panicking because the card beside it is you being wide awake at night, losing sleep. If you look at him, he's comfortable. You see, he's in his own bed, he's comfortable, and he should be happy. You see, this is the problem with the 9 of Swords. It's a period where all the things are in place. You should be happy, but yet, because too many spanners are being thrown into the works, you're not. And you're up at night thinking, how do I organize my life? How do I organize myself? There are too many things that are out of my control. And I'm losing sleep over it. I had great ideas for my future. I had people that I wanted to take with me into my future. And now here I am alone again, left holding the bag, left holding the baby in some cases. Why? Why? This is what you're saying. Why? Well, why? Here comes the answer. The Magician has thought now that it's important for you to go down an entirely different route. Things need to be shaken up. You know, you had, as we spoke about last month, lost control in some relationships. You'd lost control of some aspects of your life. And Mercury steps in to say, you know, it's not over. Don't panic. It's not over. But there are other choices here. There are other avenues to explore. if your heart has been broken, Libra, there are other options. A door hasn't just been shut, closed, the end. You can make it work or you can choose a different option. You have choices. Just remember that. Don't feel insecure, stuck or embarrassed or anything like that when this situation arrives, because you're not without choice. And he's also giving you the choice to move away. You see, if you look here at the cards, he's pointing down at this card and pointing up in a different direction. He's saying, no, keep that down. There's other better things going on for your future. And he is mercurial, so he's a bit tricky. I sense there were tricks and gameplays, and something happened that you felt you were fooled a little bit. You felt that you were deceived. And this is the master deceiver. He's shown up. He's actually shown up for a few readings this month. The master deceiver, the trickster, because he is, where is Saturn for you? In your 4th house, your home life and family life. You have to get a better control now of your home life and your family life and your sense of overall security. The home that you're living in, is it secure? Do you feel that you can stay there? Are you happy in it? The house itself, the solid structure, is it serving your needs now? Is it the right type of house for you? Is it in the right location? Do you need to rethink this a bit more? Because Saturn is putting you under a bit of pressure this month. Maybe some of you had a bit of a heartbreak and you're now thinking, I don't want to live with this person anymore, for those who live with somebody. For those who are single, you could be saying, if I want to, have a happy love life, I may need to move. I may need to move towards a place that makes my heart a bit happier. But this guy here is talking about obsession. He's talking about somebody wanting to rule over you, lord over you, somebody who's in a constant state of upheaval. So you have to give all your attention to their problems when you've enough freaking problems of your own. Libra, you've enough to be getting on with in your own life than having to deal with other people's psychodramas. Really, really. Because if you stay, you see, it's a trick. Some people do this, and I suspect you might be victim of this, be it your lover, a business partner, or somebody that's very close to you. They could be in a permanent state of psychological trauma or of emotional drama or always on the cliff edge. And it's highly stimulating to be involved with somebody like that. Yet at the same time, there's a part of you going, Jesus, will it ever end? We just fixed a big drama last month. Do we have to fix another one again? Is your existence just one big drama after drama? And you're wonderful at this, Libra. You're great at going in with your mind to help people solve their problems. You love psychology. You love entering into that space and helping to heal others in that way. But you can only help those who help themselves. This is a big theme this month. You must only help those who help themselves, because you're giving an awful lot of energy to somebody who seems to be hurting you and keeping you awake at night. It's not good enough, Libra. It's not good enough. And after all these dramas, at least, thankfully, in June, you will come to the recognition, you'll realise that it is just one series of drama after the next, after the next, after the next, and you'll say, enough, I need to rest, I need to go and regroup, reclaim my power, chill, close my mind, close my thoughts, and recover from this heartbreak, recover from a shock too, perhaps, something that happened mid-May or towards the end of May, recovering from it. and finally getting the sleep that seemed to have been so elusive to you, that you're finally able to rest. That's what you seem to need now, Libra. Quiet spaces, quiet time, rest and recovery to get your energy back. Now here we have the second Gemini card. I know this is Gemini season. It's the Gemini's birthdays. And again, you have a card saying, I need to rest in this period. It's too tricky for me. It's been quite heavy for me. And I need to, once I rest, I can regroup. Because Gemini, the Lover's card, is all about reclaiming the depth of the personality. And you're dealing with 8th house stuff, which is your deepest, most psychological part of you, where you have traumas and wounds and fights and arguments and flamey passion, fire, intimacy, wildness, savageness. And you're saying, no, I need to balance this. Libra, you are balanced. And you're saying, oh, this high intense drama now, I need to find a little place of balance. What seems to have happened with the high drama in your life recently is that it has triggered you and kick-started you into finding a truer sense of balance. Those of you on my Facebook page, She Bear Tarot, will remember, I think I mentioned something about that, about finding balance for you and kicking open the doors of your wild, savage self so that it can come out and face any of the big demons that are happening that keep bringing you to this heartache. Are there patterns in your life that you've recognized, Libra, that keep bringing you to heartache? Do you need to break patterns? You see, the devil also symbolizes psychological patterns, patterns of behavior, patterns of negative behavior that we get trapped in. And there'll be a moment where you're now saying, I need more balance. I can't just try to keep the peace all the time. It just doesn't work. I need to roar at them sometimes. I need to let out the lion or the lioness sometimes. The beast must come out. And they need to know I'm not a walkover or a pushover. You know? And I need to be clear. At no point am I even trying to suggest, Libra, that you are a pushover. Understand, that's not the energy I'm trying to say. You're not a pushover, but you have the ability to recognize that things work better when everybody is getting on with each other. So your automatic instinct is to try to get everybody calm. So look and say, come on guys, can we work through this? Can we work together? And that. So you're keeping the peace in that way. And there are those who see this wonderful quality that you have, Libra, and they see it as something that they can take advantage of. They say, I can keep pushing, Libra, I can keep pushing them, because the only thing Libra will ever try to do is try to keep the peace. So I can be as big of an asshole as I want to be, and Libra will just forgive and forget. That's not, they need to understand that's not what you're doing. You want progress in your life and you want everything to run smoothly. But if they dare challenge you in a big way, all you have to do is open those doors to the 8th house stuff that's now available to you, and the savage beast will come out and bring them down. And they might need to be brought down a peg of 2. I think that's something very key here, Libra. Somebody needs to be brought down a peg or 2 in your world. They need to know that you're just not going to tolerate it anymore. Now with this card too, I will say there's the new moon in your 9th house. Some of you might be looking at a foreign lover, you know, somebody not of your culture, not of your ideology, maybe somebody who has a different religion or belief system to you, and you might be finding that they can open new doors for you. They can help you escape the little bit of a nightmare that you've been going through recently. Education certainly is a thing. Somebody might have a lot of wisdom about a certain subject or bring you towards a direction. You might find a guide or a wise counselor to, push you in the right direction. And certainly, Libra, if heartache has been a recurrent theme with you, with somebody like this, then perhaps you do actually need to speak to a counselor and to try and unravel these behavioural patterns that keep you locked into these situations, Why do you stay there? Why? The devil can symbolise people with addictions, alcoholism, drug abuse and so on like that, or people who have long-term depression or mental health problems. Now, I know that if it's a member of your family, I know that can be a very tricky thing, but you need help. If you're really deeply involved with somebody in that area or suffering with those things, you can't do it on your own. You need advice, Libra. Now, this is a nice card because what happens as the month progresses, it gets a whole lot better. You'll be happier to know. It just gets better. You'll be able to see new possibilities. Your dreams are beginning to open up. You have a future now. Where are we with Mars in the 5th house? You have a future. You want to step out into the spotlight somehow, push yourself along and be brilliant again. Not to be under the shadow of somebody else all the time, which with him here, you may have felt that you were under somebody's shadow for a long time, that they kept getting all the attention. And you're saying, oh my God, no, my future, I need to start getting some of this attention. And you are going to start seeing that your dreams, desires are now possible. You can see them again. And yet, beside that is the marriage card, big declarations of love. Perhaps some of your big dreams and desires for the future is that you can marry this person. Now you're confusing me, Libra, because if you're with somebody who has very, very bad behavior and you're then thinking of marrying them or making some big declaration of love with them, some commitment with them, then I wish you the very best, and I know you don't enter into things lightly, so I'll just say I wish you the very best and every congratulations for those of you who are taking that route this June into the season of marriage. I know some of you do recognize, that some of these big stresses and things that are keeping you awake at night and the fears that are bubbling up and surfacing are probably just wedding jitters. You're getting cold feet just before the big day. I get that. I know that's not for everybody. I know. These are general readings, but we do have to read what the cards say. Now, here we have the Fool. Feeling that you're starting again. You are ready. Once you find your rest again, once you recover, regroup, reclaim your energy and start seeing your bright future and declaring that you have a new way to go ahead in your life, possibly through this big love commitment. You're taking a great big leap of faith. You're diving in. Are some of you diving into a marriage even though you have all these fears? Are some of you diving into a relationship even though you have big questions hanging over it? Nonetheless, this is a positive card, Libra. And it does say, take a leap of faith. Follow your intuition. Follow the path of least resistance. I know that's a very common phrase, but do. Follow the path of least resistance, which isn't always about bowing down and say, oh, let them have their way, let them do this, I kind of give up. That's defeat. That's not what I'm saying. The path of least resistance is when doors open up and you can feel that you're being brought in a good, wholesome and healthy way in a certain direction towards your future. So follow that energy. And then we have this card. Once you follow that energy, and the Fool sometimes represents entering into a project or a relationship without any previous baggage, essentially, because if you watch him, he has very little baggage. He's only carrying that small little backpack there on a stick and a flower, and he has his little dog with him, and he's moving on. And when he moves on with no baggage, no trauma, when he clears all that psychological junk out, but particularly out of his home life and out of his financial life too, the worries that might be happening there, clear all the junk out of those two areas, and you'll start feeling that you're back in the game, that you're back on top, that you're back moving in the right direction, and people are going to applaud you. Two things can happen. People might be applauding you because you're getting married, so that's nice. And for the other Libras, people might be finally applauding you at the end of the month because you've finally woken up to this. And you finally said, enough, I can't deal with this person anymore. And you'll suddenly find that bunches of people will be coming out and saying, is it really over? Or did you really split up with this relationship, this partner, this friend, this somebody that you have a partnership with? Did you really end a contract even with somebody? Did you? And you'll say, I did. And they'll say, oh, thank you, because we wanted to say to you for a long time that it was no good for you. And you might find that happening too, people coming out and saying, if this really is the end, then I'm glad. And they'll celebrate you for it, and they'll say, well done. But we come to the end of the month, and here's you feeling financially, first, left out in the cold, that you're losing money. Money, you're looking at your bank balance and it's gone, it's falling, falling, falling. And you're saying, I don't know if I can keep on with this. The Saturn in your fourth house in your home, maybe some of you find that your home is becoming a bit too expensive to maintain. Is the rent or the mortgage becoming a little bit too much? And you're saying, oh man, how can I get this together? Money's not coming in and I've bills to pay. Don't panic. It does improve. It does get better, Libra. And again, here for some of you, this represents a moment where you're feeling left out of the cold, rejected, dejected. All the good stuff is happening somewhere else and you're just left out in a corner, ignored and treated badly, I'll say. You feel very let down by somebody, and I'm not surprised with this being your opening card. You feel very let down and disillusioned by life in general and by somebody. And you feel that some situation has the potential to ruin you or ruin your life in some way. And you're worried about it. That could be the very thing that's making you stay up at night. But don't, Libra, don't, because the last card is the one that really gives hope. The Page of Pentacles means that somewhere through the month of June, possibly, let's see, the new moon on the 13th, June 21st, you've the sun going into your house of career on June 21st. Some of you could see something really big happening for you in your career, in your financial world, where you're rewarded, maybe through a promotion, and your financial situation just becomes a whole lot easier. Some of you too, excuse me, you may talk to an older person, maybe a male figure, a father figure, somebody like that, and tell them that you're feeling a bit like this financially, and they may be able to temporarily help you out financially too. But certainly some of you are looking for the big prize of getting a promotion, moving on up in your career, and that looks very, very promising towards the end of the month. There's the big full moon in Capricorn in your home life. Yeah, something about your work life, home life, something has changed where you're at the end of the month, you may have to close a chapter on the home that you live in or the people that live within it. And don't fear it. Don't fear moving on in this way, feeling that, oh God, I'm losing money by doing this. No, you won't. You'll do all right. You'll be fine, Libra. Just trust it, like the fool who just trusts. If some of you are selling a home, by the way, June is a good month. You're beginning to see people showing a greater interest in your home. But the only thing I'd say is just don't take all of the offers. This is just specifically for those selling houses. Don't take all the offers as a sure thing. Be careful, talk through things, you know, have a conversation, get the details together, get the papers organised and so on. It kind of, I'll see it when I believe it moment is happening in June. So if it is your house and you're selling it, excuse me, you don't assume that it's signed, sealed and delivered maybe until the next month or something like that. But certainly it is positive. You're beginning to see positive outcomes. And I'm very happy about that, Libra. I am sorry some of you are experiencing this great big heartache. You don't deserve it, but it is a learning curve for you to break these old habits, you know, and to have a better handle on your life, that it's not down to somebody else to, you know, change course in your life. You have control of your life. Another person shouldn't have that level of control in your life where on a whim they can steer you off in different directions like that. So it is a learning curve, but it's a positive learning curve, Libra. And you'll master this, I have no doubt about it. You will master this very, very, very quickly. Libra, I'm going to leave it at that. And if this is the first time watching my videos, then please subscribe. Join me on Facebook on She Bear Tarot. I'm on Twitter and Instagram too. And do come back next month so that we can keep unraveling this story and find out where the heck you need to go next or what's coming up next, you know. And in the meantime, I'm going to leave you with a very big kiss for luck. Mwah! And I do wish you all the best. And don't forget, I love you and see you next month, Libra. Bye.